Hello, hello. Happy, I almost said Tuesday. Thursday, December 11th, 2025. It is not Tuesday. I do not want this week to be any longer than it needs to be. Um, Howdy. Russell, Juicy, how you doing? Hans, happy Tuesday. Right. Um, Man. So my car is still in the shop. I got I got no words of wisdom there. Um, I think it's actually been seen by the body shop, or at least that's my initial um, interpretation of what's going on. They screwed up. They didn't send it to the body shop right away. And the service center who looked at it said, "Oh, no, there's no damage." Thinking, what's this flappy thing in the front? Is that like a new adjustable spoiler? What's going on there? It's car week. I am so sorry, Hans. Oh my God. That's awful. And I'm sorry. I meant to ask you the other day. I thought about it and it got away from me. Well, I that's for extra speed. Well, the guy, and so I saw the preliminary estimate, and I'm thinking, man, I should have taken the adjuster's offer to not get it fixed, because what he was going to offer me and what it looks like it was going to uh, cost is, I mean, there's a gap there. But I want it done. I want it all done. Do it, get it back to me. Um, and like I told him, I said, I drive this car. I don't know what that flapping is going to do at 70 miles an hour on the interstate. Um, and so anyway, yeah, I need it fixed. I need it fixed. So we're looking forward to have it. I don't mind the rental car. I just want my car back. Um, I have a hard time trying to get in. Of course, with the VW, I probably have a difficult time getting it in through the snow. But yeah, the rental car is perfectly capable of navigating Wisconsin terrain this time of year. No snow today, thankfully. But it's supposed to be brutally cold the next couple days, like a high of 2, I think, on Saturday. Um, I don't know what's the weather like next week during our pop up. Yeah, high on Saturday. This is why we love Wisconsin. A high on Saturday -1, and it's mostly sunny. -1. Actually, weather looks great next week, except possibly some snow Thursday, Friday. So, but highs in the upper. I mean, Monday's cold, but getting in the upper 20s, even 32 on Wednesday. Wednesday looks like a great day. Yeah. So, which is a beautiful segue into the reminder. This is my last reminder, at least on this part of the channel. Next week is the holiday pop up or pop open or whatever you want to call it. Here at the warehouse, and for those that are keeping track, that's 1901 Crooks Avenue, Suite B in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, 54130. You can plug that into your GPS, get you right here. If you're coming, there is no sign for us on the outside. So trust your GPS. There's signs for a Premier Promotions, which no longer exists, but that's like the biggest part of the sign. A State Farm agent, and Clear Approach Optometry, which is where Lisa works. So those are your three highlights. If you're coming from the south Crooks Avenue, you might actually see another State Farm agent like 2 blocks from us, but that's not us. So the Premier Promotions, Clear Approach, and a State Farm agent, and it's right off of Crooks. You can't miss it. Nice big parking lot. Come in the front door. It's immediately to the right. You'll see a little cardinal there. You'll see our name on the door. Monday through Friday, noon to 5. And Saturday, 10 to 2. You just got a new prescription for glasses. You could shop for pens and get new glasses without going outside. You could do both. And stay at Shea Anderson. You could do it. You could do it. My doc would be happy to see you. I am certain. And what I like, I mean, I was at the same optometrist for probably the better part of 20 years. And I won't say they did me wrong late last year, but we found out they were doing a couple of things that I mean, now that Lisa's in the business, so to speak, weren't the most customer friendly is not the right word, but they were looking out. I mean, they're looking out for the bottom line, and I get that. That's fine, but they weren't trying to help the customer out. And so after 20 some years or more, I'm unfortunately I have to switch. I'm not unfortunately, but I mean, it's right there. So I'm going to go there. And Lisa had had an appointment the other day to have the doc take a look at her, and she said he's really, really great. So, but yeah, you can get glasses. Absolutely. Let me know when you'll be here. I know. The last thing you want to do is drive. Will there be a huge inflatable fountain pen on the roof? Probably not. Probably. I do have 2 giant Lamy Lux towers though. You just need $1,000 for new glasses and something left over. Yeah, aren't glasses ridiculous? Oh my God. I will say I haven't ever crossed the $1,000 threshold. I think my last pair of glasses, these guys here were, I don't remember, 800. And then of course you gotta have. I got prescription sunglasses too, so there's another 750. Yeah. So. But yeah, weather is cold and chilly, and of course the roof apparently is leaking. So we've got the roof people here this week. So if there is any noise going on, and I haven't heard it in a while, so I don't know if what they've done. That's what's going on. Apparently next door in at my cycling glasses. Yes, I have prescription cycling glasses too. Believe it or not, that I don't use, which kills me because I don't go outside anymore. Apparently they had a bucket, and as the snow was melting, it was like dripping. It was leaking into the bucket. Mariah! Hot take, this winter has been awesome so far. You love it. Yeah, let me know how you feel after Saturday's high of minus 1. minus 2 or whatever it is. So, anyway. What do we got cooking today? We got some finishing up to do. So I am busy the next 3 Thursday, Friday. Yeah, you could take it. Great. The next 4 days, I'm busy pricing stuff that I had no intention of ever pricing anytime soon. And believe it or not, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but you got to remember we're in the business, right? I'm looking around for things that what am I going to put out? Stuff that's not on the website. You can get first crack at it. I mean, hundreds of vintage pens. But there was actually there's a tray of them right here. Some of those. There's a whole box of pens that I sort of forgot about, and I'm like, oh, and they're in excellent condition, previously used, modern pens. Excuse me. Some Pilot. Conklin, Parker, Coeco. I mean, there's a bunch of modern stuff. Real inexpensive, real inexpensive. Um, and so I was like, oh, I mean, it's a whole shoe. It's a huge shoe box. It's actually big. It's like a boot box, full of this stuff. This stuff is perfect. So I got that out. I got to get to pricing it. I'm supposed to get more stuff on Saturday. And if that happens, I'm here for the duration because it's from last my account is it's a 20-pound box of pens. So it's going to be a madhouse here to remember to put that heavy Parker 51 desk set somewhere in the corner so no one can see it. You know, I hate to sell it, but you know, until I actually have a house where I can display these, massive accumulation, and my happiness in my marriage, is more important than accumulating desk sets. So slow accumulate. It has a nice desk set though, but I mean, it's got a price on it that you've got to really want it to pay my price. And if somebody pays that, I'll happily pack it up and ship it to them. Hope I have a Pilot Falcon. I do not have a Falcon. I've got like what is it? I've got a pilot, one of those weird Pilot Customs with the number 3 nib. I'm going to put customers that visit next week to do pen repairs. Yeah. Let's see how well that goes, huh? You know what's going to happen is no one's going to come on Monday. No one's going to come on Tuesday. No one's going to come like Friday. People will come on Friday. So, I still don't know. I think we're recording the podcast. I think we're pre-recording it this next week because obviously I can't have it. You know, we used to do podcasts in the store, but then we had Dave, and then Dave could take care of the customers. We could just keep doing our thing. So anyway, let's see what we got to do today. Blurry. I was a little late. I didn't focus here. Whoops. There we go. All right. Yeah, so this will be the last pen stream for over a week, which is, I guess, just as well fine. We could take a little break. Better start cooking up food to serve next week. I'm gonna have coffee. I got that. I don't have any coffee mug. I have one coffee mug. That's all I got here. So we used to have a regular that would stop by, and we had a special mug just for him. But he came by like clockwork every Wednesday at like 10 o'clock. His wife would take piano lessons down the street. Bless her soul, she just passed away. But she would take lessons down the street, and he would drop her off and then walk 2 blocks down and look at pens. So, what do we got? We got, I suppose you start getting pens too, and then I do need to make cookies for the pen club's holiday. Man, you are. I'm embarrassed. You're just so far ahead of. I mean, you've got the whole Christmas thing down. We've got a Christmas card list. We've got presents for the kids, but I haven't got presents for any of my friends. I talked about it, but you know, you get to a certain age, and it's really hard to get presents for people. What do you get? I haven't got anything for my mom yet. I know what my mom wants, but there's not a chance in hell I'm ever going to be able to get it. Yeah, we don't have any. We have cats, so no Christmas decorations. People end up having or buying everything they want at a certain point. Yeah. I mean, I know it's valuable to me at this point. I mean, there's really very little that I actually want, because if you want it, you just get it, you know. And I always thought that was kind of weird. I know my mom told me that once. She's like, well, you know, your dad and I, we don't really get each other presents. She says, because, you know, if we want something, we get it. And if it's you know, if it's over a certain amount, we talk about it and we go, okay, you know, and your dad's got his own money, and that's how it goes. And otherwise, different, right? And that's kind of how we do it. I don't, you know, sort of, I don't really buy much, you know. I've got stuff for, I'm pretty much kitted out for my bike. Gary, I saw you on Strava, or I saw your note on Strava. So I don't need anything for my bike except for your brother. Your brother and you try to give each other gifts that cost nothing. Well, I mean, you know, we could do the same. You want to give me a Mandarin Duofold? I mean, you don't have one. I could give you a Mandarin Duofold. It cost me nothing. Let's see. We're gonna test this. Aren't cats just the cutest excuse for being a Grinch? I saw today, the cutest thing. It was this company that makes, it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing on the planet. And it's $349, mind you. $349. It is like a 5-foot, 6-foot tall cat tree that you can then put, that it comes with fake Christmas branches that you put on it and you make it into a Christmas tree, but it's got like little hiding spots for the cats. I mean, it's adorable, but the cats are still going to chew on it. So I don't, you know, I don't get that part. Sure, you're giving him a Fordham tool. I got thrown with some other tools you bought. You think he'll like, is he going to use it? He is. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the goal, I suppose. Hmm. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, for pottery. Oh, okay, okay. You just never bought one because they're expensive? Beautiful. I love it. I love it when a snorkel retracts perfectly. It's lined up perfectly. Oh, man, that's nice. Oh, it's so nice. I like it. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't consider it medium, but it's not really fine either. It's kind of right in the middle. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. It's going to be great with this base. Someone's going to get a. This is nice. And I'm going to get it off my bench. If I underline it 3 times, that'll remind myself how great of a nib that is. How about a door prize for next week? Maybe a certain desk pen set. That might be kind of hard to do because it's not a 1 day thing, you know. I want to give away desk pens. Come on. I do have a beautiful case full of them though, so if you're coming to town, um, there's quite a bit to choose from and a whole lot easier to get than having it shipped to you. Well, I can't. I would need a monster salad spinner to spin this out. All right. I'm just going to leave that sit out to dry. That's now before I pulled a couple pens to work on. Before I do that, I was putting these pens into the binder for next week, and then I recalled as I got to the blue one, that was my cue that I need to just quick clean these caps out. At least check them. I heard the door open. I've had Amazon, UPS, and I think FedEx and USPS all already here today. So you didn't realize that some desk sets screw into the trumpets? Yeah, some do. And some desk sets, like one I was looking at this morning, which is a 1930 Parker base. Actually, the pen is actually a little bit earlier than that. I think it's a 1927 pen and a 1930 base. But um, the with Parker, a big deal for a long time with them was you could go to the pen counter, your Parker pen dealer, and you could buy a taper and a desk base. You could just buy that. And then what you would do is then you would just take off the cap and take off the blind cap, screw the taper on, and then boom, you've got a pen. And so, but what they did is a lot of their sockets are friction fed. And so even though there are threads on the barrel, it just slots into the trumpet. The threads are for the cap. So that was, they made a big deal out of promoting, that's pretty clean, how the dealer could make extra money by selling a desk base along with the pen. And you've got, you know, especially for gift giving. Yeah, this one, good thing I checked these, man. Would have been. A lot of Sheaffer's thread in. 51s, 21s, of course. 45s don't. Esterbrook's never did. They're all friction fit. It's really interesting. I wonder if that meant they could have more artistic flair to their bases, as they didn't have to go with a certain pen necessarily. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was looking this morning at Lisa would kill me. It would kill me if this ever happened. But Parker used to advertise this case that they had, which, you know, standing height, so it's probably 4 feet tall, and the top section was a row of trays, maybe 2 by 3, maybe. Oh, hang on. I don't know how many times that's going to happen today. I have no idea who that was. Yeah, the top part of the case was maybe like 3 rows, maybe 2 deep, at an angle, trays for pens, and then the bottom was like three, 2 shelves, so 3 levels, glass, glass trays that kind of went in a square U, I guess, shape. And that's where you would put all the desk bases. Like, who's got one of those? I want that. So, you know, as a retailer, you could show off all, because Parker made like this absurd number of different styles of desk bases. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I know Sheaffer was the same way. So many. Uh, oof. That sounds awesome. But if you bought it, I probably would be attending your funeral. Yeah. Doesn't it though? I mean, how cool would that be? Lisa was not happy about what we affectionately refer to as the Martin case, which is the big case that was a gift. Um, it was not. It sat in the garage for I don't know how long. Finally got it up and working. The fact that she still continues to say she's gonna bury me in that. She kind of is all you need to know about how much she loves me getting into big ephemera. Well, there's a lot of ink in this. Holy. Why don't I just soak this in the ultrasound? It seems like this one would make more sense. Martin's coming to visit this week, and he might bring you another case. You hope not, you're out of room. He called me on Monday. I spoke with him on the phone. All right, I don't know why I didn't do this. Jason, good afternoon. These here are these pens I will be selling. Yeah, these are not client pens. I'm done with client pens for the week, I think. I don't think I have any more coming in. You'll say about coffin costs. Yeah, well. I'll request to be cremated, but that I must stay with the case. Someday, Hans, I'll tell you, if I haven't told you the story, I'll tell you the story about how I got that case. It was so, I haven't told you. It's probably not for public news, but yeah, these vacs will be probably it's going to be a couple weeks for sure. I've already got this morning I was already planning out Monday's photography. You just picked up a vintage Estimate morning. It has the coolest looking clip. What does it look like? Does it look like a V? Yeah, if you want to email me on one of these, Jason, that's fine too. I normally don't like to put these blue diamond clips in the ultrasonic because it'll just chew that blue out, but this one doesn't have any remaining, so. Your dad said he wanted to be cremated. His ashes to be put on the mantle at the Elks Club. How's the Elks Club feel about that? This one's got a good blue diamond, so we can't put this in the ultrasonic. I've got the coolest, by the way, I'm going to have the coolest looking garbage can ever. I wish you could see it. It is nothing but weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of colorful Q-tips and old sack parts. It is pretty wicked cool. Has a V clip silver with 2 holes on top. One is 2 hole. Oh yeah. So there's a V clip and there's a 2-hole clip. So if it's got 2 holes in the clip, it's a 2-hole clip. If it has one big opening, we call that a V clip. And there's a couple of different variations of that clip. There's 2 main variations, and then there are slight variations with respect to the top hole, how round it is, how sharp it is. I suspect it was probably a die wearing issue, but Black lever filler. Yeah. They all lever fillers of that era, anyway. All right. Yeah, I was a little surprised. Martin called me on the phone. I'm like, well, what's going on with Martin? He wanted to talk about. Yeah, there's a noise up on the roof. I don't know if you can hear that. What the hell are you doing? What did we talk about? Esterbrook, actually, believe it or not. You have to wonder back then when they made small changes to a pen that it would become collectible in the future. Yeah, I think that was not even remotely a consideration. I can tell you that. All right, those are good. So look at this. We haven't even started this pen yet. I haven't even gotten around to. That's pretty good. All right. I am going to spin out those black in this double jewel silver one there. Just because I had those in water. The rest will dry out just fine. And then, let's see. I got those two Conklins I'm just going to basically reassemble. I did get a couple of, maybe a dozen interesting vintage pens up on the site this morning, including that Sheaffer combo. If anybody is interested, it is available. Couple of nice vacs too. Double jewel vacs. So Jason, check those out too. I'll give you a quick shot of the. These are all majors except for this, which is a standard. This is a nice standard. Blue, black, silver pearl, emerald pearl, burgundy pearl, snorkel. This one's not ready yet. So. All right, let's do these. I have way too many trays of pens. This is what happens. I try to get organized. I start organizing. Well, I'm going to fix these, and I'm going to fix these, and then I literally have stacks of trays of these trays that are filled with pens that I have intended to. A standard is what you're looking at. Check the website too, actually, believe it or not, because there is one up for sale. There's two up, and I think there is another gray one too. I mean, if you want that one, we can talk too, but I won't get pictures of it for 2 weeks. Guarantee. I just got some. I know it's ridiculous. I just got another batch of consignment pens come in today from one of my current consigners sent me another 10 or 12 pens. Was very timely because TWSBI announced last week, and we briefly mentioned it at the end of the podcast, the TWSBI Obsidian, which has that different form factor from the 580s and the Ecos and the Classics and all that. And it's an all plastic pen with an ink window. Marbled, marbled material. Really, really very nice looking. They've done this I believe is their fourth one that they've done. They had an Aurora. They had a Draco. They did an Aurora, and I'm not certain. The Draco was red. The Aurora was green. I'm not certain if that was European only release or not. And then the Kai, which they launched late last year, which is actually still available. I can actually buy in all nib sizes. So that, and then now this Obsidian, which is kind of like a black gray marble with, it looks like maybe the copper trim or the, I'm not sure. There was very little information. It was like, here's the pen, here's how much it costs. We're calling it Obsidian. I couldn't even tell you anything else about it, but my consignor emailed me and said, hey, listen, I got a bunch of pens. Any of these interested for your clients? I said, well, great. And sure enough, there's a Draco and a Kai that just arrived today. So if you're missing, if you're missing the Kai or you're missing the Draco, you didn't get the Draco, or you want those to go along with the Obsidian, I've got two, one of each. The Draco's a nice color. I like that. Sheaffer combos in anything other than black are tough to find. Yeah. I think Sheaffer combos in and of themselves are tough to find. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where if you're not looking out for them, you don't pay attention to what's available. But then the moment you get one, So anyway, what else is in the lot? There's a 3776 Burgundy, the medium nib, two Twisbys. There's a Pelican M200, some special color. I can't remember what it is. A Sailor Pro Gear Slim, that yellow orange one, Moonlight Over the Ocean, or one of those ocean, something over the colors. I suppose I could get them. I think they're. I'll go grab the box to see what's in there. If there's anything interested to anybody. They're going to get shot on Monday, so they would be available hopefully next week. So that's a good looking pen. It's got an interesting, very interesting section. It's a little bit more curvy than the 20p. Obsidian descriptions are saying rose gold. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's hard to tell though because it's this black and gray. Black and gray pen. Yeah, posted that's plenty big. Man, I love these. These are great, aren't they? Love crescents. Nice chasing patterns. Are Wallace pens any good? Just picked one up for a $5. I have no idea. Never heard of them. Is it a modern pen? Just gonna see if I can get any more. That's vintage, maybe 20s. Oh. Oh, late 20th century. Yeah, they're pounding away on the roof, that's for sure. All right. Those guys are done. I'm going to go grab. Let's take a look at the new consignment stuff that came in. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I am going to box it. Package these up so I can take these home. And I'll be back in 10 seconds. All right, let's take a look. I got these right around lunch, so talk about a box and a half, huh? I don't think this is the box for this pen. This is not the box for this pen. That's obnoxious how big this box is. This is an Optima box. This is not an Optima. Does have a 14 karat gold nib. What is this? That's a Twent? Oh, what is it? Well, I'll figure that out later. It's not going in this box. That's for sure. This box is going to cost an extra $5 to ship it. It just looks ridiculous. It's massive. That's not bad though. It's a nice little pen. 14 karat gold nib. We got a Pelican M200. I think this is the right box. Oh yeah, that's nice. Copper. Oh, you can see how sparkly that is. Rose gold trim. Boy, that's pretty. It does it looks brown, but this is actually kind of a almost a rose gold. Well, that's nice. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Pilots. Yeah.
And again, his hasn't been active. His was only like a 1 day thing. It hasn't gotten worse. Like a little
All right, sorry about that. What's this? Custom 74 in blue. Rod nib. That's pretty cool. We'll have to clean these out a little bit, but actually, while I'm here, yeah, there's a little bit of worst converter ever. You got 3 hard rubber pens and 2 Conway Stewarts, hard rubber Swan and Watermans that you can try out in your Dr. G's. Yeah, absolutely. $20. Oh my God. I'm paying too much for pens. This is a cool 74. I like this. Supposed to be a Japanese, is it Japanese only color? I don't know, you know, because I'm not a pilot dealer anymore. That's pretty sweet, though. All right, so we got a pilot. Don't really have much of a box here. The box is not with it. This is one of the Twisby. This is the Kai. So there's your Kai with the rose gold trim. Oh, so yeah, I want to. As long as we're here, we're just gonna clean these. Fine nib. I just love this design. It's so cool. And it doesn't really fit into my cleaner. Shoot. Well, we'll see. I need a bigger thing for my. Obviously, not going to work on the. You know, they don't. I don't know that they have a model name for this. There we go. Every single one of those snorkels and touchdowns you're working on needs a replacement part. That's never happened before. 5 out of 5. Like a section or a blind cap or something. Yeah, I hate that. I hate getting derailed. Well, you get to the end and then you realize something's not right. I've got 3 Esterbrooks on my bench here that I pulled out of And there's the Draco, in case you don't remember what the Draco looks like. The Draco is awesome. 2 touchdown tubes? Really? That's weird. That's weird to, I mean, section trim rings. I love this pen is awesome. I love this one. Ooh. Afternoon, Gabriel. Oh yeah. I was warned about this one. First things first, I'm gonna let me grab my Twisby wrench. This is always really fiddly, and this is one thing I just can't stand doing. I can never seem to get it right on the first try. All right, let's see if that'll do the trick. That'll work. Been a while since I did that. We used to get it for a while there. Yeah, isn't it a pretty pen, Indy? Could be yours. Got a medium nib on it though. Not an extra fine. That is a hard to find Twisby. All right, that's good to go though. I'm nervous now. I want to look at this one again. I think this one was okay. All right, so we got two Twisbys. Really, really nice Twisbys. Not really much of a box. All the innards are gone. There's each one comes with a silicone tube. This is kind of a weird short Bexley. Gold-plated steel nib. Post nice, and it's got a little bit of a, in between the cap bands here, it's hard to see. They use the same material as the barrel and on the top, in between the bands. So that's kind of a nice feature. I think the gold-plated nib's a little bit of an odd choice on the rest of the pen. But it's a Yovo nib, so, you know, throw your own nib on there if you want. All right, Bexley. Ohio City's collection, Ashland. Blue and brown. Whatever that means. We got platinum. All these are coming in the wrong boxes. They're coming in like an upgrade on the box. So you got the Aurora in an optimal box. Here's a 3776, and this is in a classic Mach-E box or some Mach-E box. But it's got some moisture in it. I think we're gonna spin this out. Cap looks okay. A little bit of a scratch on the cap. Probably could be polished out. But a medium nibs, which is a pretty decent nib for platinum. It's not too fine. Really hard to do this on my lamp. So we got that, and one more. Now that I'm down to the bottom of the box, I can read the sheet here. Yeah, Talentum Finesse. That's what that one is. I guess finesse means it's thinner. And this is a Pro Gear Slim Moonlight over the ocean. And it's in a King of Pen box. In fact, there's the King of Pen. But it is not a King of Pen. This is a Slim. This is the orange and kind of like a burnt orange, yellow flavor. Broad nib too, nice. Always my favorite. No converter in there. We got, was it ever used? There's a converter still in the package. The cartridge is still in the package. Well, this is the wrong box, so who knows. So anyway, nice little sailor. Yep, that's a Slim. So that's the new stuff for the week. Probably be a couple weeks for these, but actually, well, I don't know. I don't think they'll be next. They'll be photographed probably on Monday, but I doubt. We won't have them ready in time. All right, that's that. I will have them available next week in the pop-up. Should anybody be interested, they will be for sale next week in the pop-up. They just won't be online for a while. Because I've got 110-ish, roughly 110 more consignment pens that are being edited right now. I'll have some of them by tomorrow, I think. So there'll be some, we'll probably launch them on the podcast. There's one collection that's fairly mid to low end, and then another collection that's mid to high. So, all right. So here's what I picked out for this week. I probably should be consistent and do like all lever fillers or whatever, but this one I wanted to check. This is a vacumatic, double stickers. It's got, I mean, you can see how transparent the barrel is. You can almost see I mean, if you hold, this is ridiculous how transparent this is. It is so nice. So nice. I have a feeling this is ready to go. I mean, I bought it from a well-respected dealer. So it may be good to go. We're just going to pull the filler and check the condition of the sack, and then it's probably ready to go. This is a 51 Mark II with kind of a medium nib in it. And I was told, and this sack is as clear as day. I was told this was new old stock, so we're going to test that theory. Nice gold cap. English. Yeah, English 51. Then we've got an oversize. These are for Hans because, you know, he loves this kind of stuff. And he's probably busy doing his thing, and then he heard his name, so now he's got to run back to the computer to see what I'm talking about. I guess that's oversized. It's a little bit shorter than this one, which is also an oversize. You got it. Yeah, yep. Visualated section. I'm guessing the platinum mask is worn off of this one, but it's still probably a pretty decent writer. And then here's another oversized Sheaffer. This has got some brassing to the cap band, but a nice big, looks like maybe a medium, or at least a healthy fine big nib on there. So I thought we would get those, see if we could get those at least on their way. And we'll do that. Yeah, I still want to pull this. I hate to disassemble something from somebody I know who, well, what I should say is I don't know. I bought this from a reputable dealer, but the dealer had this pen on consignment, and I don't know the consigner. So, and I see some residue on the feed that I really need to get rid of. So, at least I'll take that part off. I should be able to see inside the barrel and see the condition of the diaphragm. Feels okay. But it's just such a stunning barrel. I mean, I had to buy it. Like if you're gonna buy a black pen, a black vacuumatic, this is what you buy. I mean, that's ridiculous. I am gonna pull it just to check. And I probably don't have to, but better to check than no, than not check and then have a problem later. It almost looked like the pellet was a little BB, not plastic. Yeah, we're totally going to change this. Like, so this is why you check. Um, I mean, it's was not cut properly. Whoops, sorry. Plenty of life left. Yeah, well, I don't know if you can see that. There's that looks like a little BB. I hope to hell it comes out because they can't drill out a BB. Oh, it didn't come out. I do think it's plastic, so that's good. There we go. Well, it just really reflected. It's plastic. They're just really reflected. And I thought, I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to use a BB thinking it was a better idea. Don't ever try that. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. All right, I was gonna say I'm gonna stop getting up, but I gotta get a diaphragm. Be right back. No, it seems like it was maybe a hair bigger. Just seemed excessively large. If you can get it on there with the little air in there, you can push it on with the air that's in there, because sometimes it's a tight fit. Oops. And I try to hold, if it slips off, I hold it down here, and then I use the other hand to roll it over. Then I can finish it off on this side. That was a very nice fitting socket. You could feel it chunk into place. $19.46. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to put this. There we go. Now that old sack probably would have worked. It would not have worked well. And who knows for how long. That, however, is going to work fantastic. That's why I like. That's why I like vacs sometimes. When they go together, they go together. I mean, you know, this is an exceptional example because it is really basically it's clean. Um, this one's supposed to be new old stock, so I'm just gonna. Nope, it had been inked. It's very clean though. And I bought this from a very reputable dealer, so. Actually, all of these came from the same. The Sheaffers and this Parker came from the same dealer. This guy had been in the community for 40 years. If I can't trust him, then I can't trust anybody. And I bought something like, I forget what it was, 15 pence from him. These, however, I am gonna, these need to be cleaned. Now that you're back at your computer, I can totally appreciate those Sheaffers. They're nice, and your project pens are waiting for the shellac to dry. Good. Yeah, this one's going to be a user. I was a little disappointed at the cap band brassing, but if the nib right's nice, who cares? As long as the price reflects what it should be. But I love fat Sheaffers. Oh my. Kind of stained PVC sack or something there. I don't know that it really mattered with the amount of discoloration we have going on here. That well, it looks like PVC. It's probably why it discolored. Well, weren't the original when Martin Smith was selling his silicone sacks, weren't they actually PVC? was my understanding. I mean, this is old enough. This could have been a Martin Smith. And nothing against Martin. Martin was a great guy. I bought sacks from him for years. I mean, literally up until the week he passed away, I bought sacks from Martin. Yeah, that's hard rubber. That doesn't have a visualated section. Oh man, tell me they didn't glue this shut. There we go. Well, that looks like fun. Look at that. This is a perfect example. Yeah, it is wild, isn't it? I mean, um, you get newbies that will get a vintage pen. And I realize I'm preaching to the choir because those people are probably not watching my stream right now, nor will they probably ever. I'll wait till this heat gun turns off here. But this is why you can't rely on, can you lift the lever if the sack is good? I mean, number one, you got this going on, right? And this is, it's like shoe leather. You can see it crack as I squeeze it. Okay, there's another break. But right here, it's actually supple. So you would, and your bar goes down kind of, it doesn't always really go down equidistant or parallel to the sack. So it's going to squeeze here and you're going to go, oh, well, it must work. And so the first thing you do is you fill it up with ink and then it comes in and then it gets to that juncture and ink goes everywhere. And you just keep pumping because you're like, well, it's not, I'm still getting bubbles. Well, yeah, you are. So this is why, if there are any first timers out there, you cannot rely on what it feels like inside the pen when you lift a lever. Number one, it's dangerous for a number of pens, Waterman particularly, or Eclipse is the other one. But you just don't know until you open it up. You just don't know. This one seems okay, but it's pretty stiff. You know, you just want to change that stuff out. So if you're a first timer, you're not familiar with vintage pens, heed that warning, please. It will serve you well. That's the one time where you can make an assumption that will not make an ass out of you or me. Apparently I need a lot of ink. Oh, I gotta seal this section up. Yeah, once you've opened it up, you might as well replace it. Peace of mind for a couple of years. I mean, there's only a couple occasions where I'm not gonna bother with it because I know where it came from. It's like if you bought a pen for me and you just decided you were gonna open it up, you know, you leave it. Hey, there we go. Duly noted. I just see it a lot. And the problem is if you aren't familiar with the repair process, don't have the tools, not that it requires a ton of tools, but you don't have the tools, you don't have the supplies, don't want to, and that's perfectly okay. If you have no inclination to want to learn repair or do repairs yourself, or invest in all the tools and all the supplies and the possibilities of what happens if something breaks, and then, you know, you need, then you need parts. And let me tell you, sometimes it's a 2, 3, 10-year wait to find the correct parts. It literally can be that long. I know, I mean, I've had some pens for sure. I can think of a couple that are 2, 3 years wait to find the right part. Yeah, if you're doing this hobby, you want the satisfaction of a job well done. So, and again, it's perfectly okay if you don't want to do it. Like, there are things that I'll repair pens all day, but man, you want me to fix a hole in drywall? I want no part of that. You know, you want me to do a home improvement? I mean, it's a bear to get me to do anything, and you need to get me on the right day. There better be a really good 6-pack of beer in the fridge. Maybe a little dessert or something. I mean, you know, there needs to be motivation for me to do almost any kind of home repair that's not like, I'll do little minor electrical things, you know, replacing a light fixture or, you know, an outlet or whatever. But, you know, I don't know what it is about drywall and hanging things. I hate drywall. I can't stand it. I guess I like drywall better than I like plaster and lath, but, you know, and that's okay. It's okay that I don't want to do that. I just pay. I have a handyman that is very reasonable. He's not very available most of the time, so that's the trade-off. You know, if I want it done quickly, it's going to be 5 times the price, but, you know. But when you buy a vintage pen, don't assume it doesn't. Yeah. As Hans says, I assume the worst of every pen you buy. Does that make you jaded or experienced? It makes you experienced, because you have to factor in some kind of repair cost. Unless it's like an aerometric filling 51, if it fills, don't take it apart. Do not take it apart. If it fills properly and the sack is not crystal clear like it is on this one, if you have to have things that are clear, then don't buy that pen. Because there's a high probability something's going to go wrong in the process of taking it apart just to replace the sack. On a 51 Aero, you just don't need to. I don't unless I have to. And that's kind of how it is. And I don't care if the sack is heavily stained. I'm going to leave it unless something dictates I need to take it off because there's a high probability of something with the connector going wrong, whatever. But that's the only pen you can safely say, or cartridge converter pens, 45s or Sheaffer. There's some Sheaffer Imperial cartridge pens, which are really, really nice pens. Those you can safely say, okay, I can get those, most people can get those running. But anything else, factor in some kind of expense, whether it be you buying the sack, having to supply the sack and the shellac and the talc and possibly a J-bar, or paying somebody to do it. Assume, especially if you get it at an estate sale or an antique mall, don't even do this. We've talked about this before. This pen is what, 90 years old? 30, yeah, 90 some years old. Of course it's not going to work. Are we going to work well at 90? No, not at all. And it does run the risk because sometimes those sacks get very hard. And they don't necessarily crumble. And you're putting a lot of pressure on this, and you can bend stuff and you can break stuff. Waterman lever boxes can break, and boy, you break a Waterman lever box or a Waterman lever, that's a hefty repair. You need to run. Hope the rest of you goes on. Thanks for fun. Yeah, thanks. Good luck with the car. Let me know how it turns out. I got fingers crossed for you. Although I got a feeling it's not going to happen, sadly. So anyway, that's my quarterly. You saw Cardinal fly by, and it reminded me, is the name contest ending tomorrow or next week? Monday, I think, is the last day. Monday's the last day. You got to come up with something really, really good. We got one strong contender. We got one, and it came like on the first day. But you got to come up with something really, really unique that I think in order to win. But I mean, it's definitely throw in your entries, and it could be on any of the last couple of podcasts. I realize we did it kind of weird, but any of the last couple, we'll find it. We'll go through them. I'm going to dump these in there too. But we've had great fun with all the entries. Much fun, much fun. I have not seen my local cardinals though. I've got some that inhabit the bushes behind my house. Of course, I suppose it's winter now, and I don't have the door open every day like I used to, and I'm not home, so I guess that's why I haven't seen them. Yeah, don't forget, this area here is really critical. That the section goes in on. I mean, it's all going to make it easier to put that section back in place. Old dried up polish here from when somebody last polished the pen. It's never visible right after you polish, and then you'll see it a couple days later when it hardens. Sometimes by then you put the pen away in the case or whatever you've done to it. Did we get H5N1 bird flu problems over here? Boy, I haven't heard that in a while. That's probably your answer. I also don't keep up so much on the news. Although Lisa does, so if something's going on, I hear it from her. Which is kind of how I do things. No need for me to follow it if I'm going to hear about it. Yeah, and you can see there all that stuff. Old polish. Actually, it doesn't even want to come off. This is, I don't know what this is. This is not polished. Oh, maybe. There we go. On black pens, you always want to check the threads because you can't always see the ink that's in the threads. So I just put them thread down in the ultrasonic, hang on to them, and then I wipe them off. And then get in there with your Q-tip because there will be water in the inside. You don't want that running back. All right. Let's see if these are done. Caps are nasty. Oh my God. I'll leave them in there for a minute. Probably take care of these nibs here. This is a smoking nice vac. Really, really nice. Now we can see the visualated section on this one. Always good if you can get the whole sack off. You don't have to scrape out the innards. This makes this part of it so much faster and easier. All right. Those look good. Let's get some sacks. These are going to be some big ones, especially on this one. Probably not this big. Oh, well. It's too big for this. Yeah, it's too big for that. All right, we'll do that. We'll call the flat top optimized for capacity. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Anybody who says vintage pens don't hold a ton of ink has not met this pen. All right, now on these, I'm going to talc them up a little bit. So that they slide in easy enough so I can get a good measurement. That is firmly hitting the back of the bar, which is right at, if you can kind of see, there's always that little mark there. So not super long, but it's a big sack. And you can see right where the taper is kind of like right here, and I'm willing to bet that's where the end of the J bar goes. I'll polish these nibs up here real quick. This has got some patina on it, but it's not even, and it just looks ugly. Oh. Excuse me. Touchdown sacks are a real pain to remove when they rot into the protector. Yeah, same with snorkel. Use acetone. Or use, yeah, acetone is usually what I use. I've got a little jar, and then I just drop the whole protector in there. And I let it soak for 5-10 minutes. And then it will kind of dissolve. Yeah, if they're completely dried up, that's why I got 2 drill bits here. One for snorkel, one for touchdown. But then, that's easy. Oh, that looks good. Let's see what this one looks like. Well, this nib came right out, so. I just like the underside to be nice and clean. I don't like patina underneath. I mean, it's not a place that it just look dirty if it's. I mean, it looks just so much better. It reflects the light. I mean, at least before you ink it up, it's going to look great. This isn't so bad. But this one's also not coming out like that one's going to come out. None of these are really super collector grade in that they would go in a collection, you wouldn't use them. These are going to be used, at least I hope they are, so no one's going to care about patina being polished off the nib. They're going to want it nice and shiny and nice and clean, so. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to see the conclusion of these guys. For 2 weeks, week and a half anyway. Or I may end up just assembling them and testing them next week. I'm not doing other things. Just in case somebody wants one. I got plenty of ink to sample up next week, so that'll keep me busy if I'm in the afternoons if nobody's here. You were totally unprepared when it happened, but luckily had a brass wire toothbrush used like a corkscrew. Yeah, that works good. Hans turned me on to the drill bit thing, and that works out really quite nicely. But again, that's really, If it's gooey and sticky, it doesn't help, and then it just gets your drill bit all gunked up. But if it's dried on inside the sack protector tube, it's really a really great option to make short work of that. The nice thing is if you have a container, like I use a Noxzema jar, and then I only have to have, it's wide enough to fit your tubes in here, and then I only have to put a little bit in the base, and then I just keep this. I just leave it in here, and it's kind of mucky and yucky, but I just keep it until the next time I need to use it. Seal it up. And these Noxzema jars, they seal up nice. It doesn't evaporate. I mean, if I leave it for 9 months, it probably won't be any good, but you can leave it a long time. So one jar of, I've got, and as funny as it is, I've got 3 bottles, 2.5 bottles of acetone, awaiting their next victim. All right, let's see how these caps are. My water is blue. If you're wondering why I've got my brush here on this exceedingly long piece of wire. It serves 2 purposes. One, I did this. This is twisted wire. I've got a wire twister. I did this so I could clean out the inside of my ultrasonic drain hose. I can shove it through. Instead of replacing the hose, I can just clean it with the brush. And the other thing that the unintended side effect is that when I have this on here, and I've just left it on here, when I put it on my bench, because my bench is really a disaster, I can always find it because it's so long, it sticks out toward the end of the bench, so I always know where that brush is. I had to do that with all my tools. I should just use my wire spinner and spin up a handle for it. All right. I'll have to check, see if I have a better cap than that, but again, I'm going on the premise that it's going to be a really good user, and appearance is secondary to performance. Moonlighting as a nail tech. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of nail buffers here. Whoops. Oh no. Got all discombobulated. I lost the cap. I do like these early ball humped clips. Really, really cool looking. And oh, it's such a nice. You can see my finger behind the barrel. It needs a little polish, but it's pretty something special. Nicely, the nib and the date code line up pretty well. 1946 fourth quarter on the barrel, third quarter 46 on the nib. Tiny workbenches make you suspicious. Yeah. I mean, you've seen those pictures of Einstein's desk after he died, right? If I didn't have, a camera set up and all this stuff over here, and the need to be quickly accessible to other parts of the building, I would probably have a side table or something where I could put something on. There's just a little smidge of something on the barrel, and I don't know if it's somebody had shellac on their hands or whatever. I'm gonna see if I can. And unfortunately, when you screw in the nib, it's on the top. So you're going to see it. This is 8,000 grit, which is really as aggressive as I want to use on something so clean. I know it's not gone, but I can't find it. So maybe that's a good sign. You're going to be mesmerized by the transparency of the barrel. I don't want you to get a reflection. There it is. I don't want a reflection of an imperfection. It's still there, bothering me now. It's still there after this, then I'm done. This is very hard to find. If you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know it. Beautiful. All right, what do we got? 338. Well, it's kind of like the last stream for a week, so that's what we got. We'll look forward to those a week from Monday, I suppose, huh? Now, if you are coming to the shop next week and you want to see any of these, I am more than happy to entertain a sale. Other words, they won't be available. But if you're coming and you want to see, and you have to have one of these, you're welcome to ask. We can work something out. I just got to put them back together and test them. That's the extent of it. Also, if you're coming and you want a pen repaired next week, it's going to have to depend. It'd be on a case by case basis, I guess, because if there are other people here, I can't. I'm the only one here, so there's no Dave. There's no Lindsay. There's no Lisa. Except for Saturday. Lisa will be here on Saturday. And Friday afternoon and Saturday, Lisa will be here. So it's possible I could do something, but probably not, just because I don't want to get started in something and then, if somebody comes in, I need to be able to, greet and talk with folks. So, but you're welcome to bring pens in for repair and leave them. And we can ship them back. At least that way you've saved on one end of the spectrum, the shipping cost. Happy to do that. But in other words, it's going to be too difficult to. I don't expect it to be slammed. So if you come here, I don't expect there to be. It's not like Pen Club meeting. There was like 18 people here. I don't expect that to happen, but. It won't take much more than 2 people in here for it to be busy. You know what I mean? So, that being said, I'm going to stop there. I think that's a good stopping point. Those vacs will be available during the pop-up. And any other pen that we've worked on here literally in the last 6 months. Because any pen we've worked on in the last 6 months probably hasn't made its way to the website yet. So 3 months for sure. And a bunch of other surprises. And there's going to be a ton of stuff that's not up and not going to be. So if you're thinking about making the drive, it might be worth your while. A lot of vintage. There'll be some modern, and like I said, there's 100 and I've showed you all the pens. I haven't showed you one collection. Thanks. You're not going to come over here from Australia? There's like 110 consignment pens that I haven't put on the website yet. A bunch of modern stuff, including ballpoints and pencils and rollerballs. So if you're into that kind of thing, there will be some cool ones. Some Japanese stuff, platinums for sure, 3776s, some couple sailors, some Peniters, some special edition All-Stars and Safaris that are no longer available. I'll have some of those. They're not going to be a fortune, right? Including some probably discontinued Twisbys and all sorts of stuff. So, if you can make it, please do stop by, say hi. I'll probably have some coffee here, so if you want some coffee, bring your own mug. I hope you like it black. But anyway, a 16-hour flight. I better have some bargains. Well, if you fly over, we could make it worth your while. I would think we could fill up a suitcase. Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, there'd have to be some. And if fingers crossed, I'm supposed to get a package of pens on Saturday. Like I say, it's 20 pounds. But you know how those early track, it was guaranteed 6-day shipment, which kind of puts it in the middle of the week. So if it came on Saturday, it would be fantastic. If not, there's likely to be there's likely to be more stuff at the end of the week. Not that you shouldn't come early, but there's likely to be some more stuff, some newer stuff for sure at the end of the week if this package doesn't come on Saturday. So anyway, that's enough of me blathering on about the pop-up, but you know, it's my job to do that, right? So a bike ride in the snow for a bonus. There is a lovely trail, Gary. There's a lovely trail, a 4.5-mile trail from here pretty much all the way to my house. You know, we could do a Zwift ride or something, maybe. You can come all the way over here to ride on Zwift. Anyway, podcast tomorrow, normal time, 1:30 Central. No repair stream next week, obviously, and the podcast timing is up in the air. There will be a podcast next Friday. I just don't know what time because it won't be live. I doubt it. So anyway, that's it from here. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it as always. Keep bringing the questions and the joyful commentary. Have a great evening, a great afternoon, a great morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow for the podcast. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye now.